All right, hey guys, I wanted to come on and I wanted to just add on to that video that I did the other day. I was talking about this subtle rose gold look that I love so much for pretty much anything, and I especially love it for weddings. I love this understated, subtle rose gold. It flatters a lot of different complexions and it works for so many people. Okay, now if you have more warm toned skin, I always encourage brides to go with like a very subtle kind of apricot toned dress. It's like an off-white, but it has just a hint of apricot to it where you don't look at it and see peach. You're just kind of like, what color is that? Like you really don't notice it, but it has enough warmth that it is going to really flatter and complement your skin tone. Okay, let's be real. There's very few people that look good in white, okay? So the softer colors are going to be better, and if you have warm toned skin, then definitely something with a little bit of apricot in it, okay? And the reason I love this rose gold look so much is because it's not peachy, it's not pink, it really is just very natural and subtle, okay? Now, I am huge into the understated bridal look, all right? I do not like statement makeup. I don't like it at all anyway. However, on a wedding day where the day is about so much more than that, I just do not like a look where the bride is trying too hard. I think that this is a time to really let our true beauty shine, to really let the world see what your guy sees in you, or your partner, whoever it is, guy, girl, whatever, and to really just be you, to be you, really, really more down to earth and raw, okay? So having a makeup look that is really, really subtle and understated so that it doesn't draw too much attention, that's just the way I think is the way to go, okay? I think that it really is classy, timeless, and I think that it really makes a statement without making a statement. That makes sense, right? So, a couple of things that I absolutely love. I did one layer of the Jane Iredale Amazing Base, and I didn't even try to cover up the pinkness in my cheeks. I only did a light layer because I wanted a little bit of that natural glow to come through. Okay, so again, depending on the person and depending on what their skin needs, one layer is usually enough for most people, and then you can go in and you can conceal little areas if you need to, okay? But one layer I have found to be the magic. It is the most natural and it is undetectable on the skin, okay? So really everybody's just gonna think you have gorgeous, flawless skin, all right? And then again, concealer, you can always go in and just tap out areas that need a little extra support. But I in no way try to get rid of any of this beautiful natural color that many of us have in our skin, all right? And then people go back in and add a, blush to try to get it back, all right? Just keep what you have, okay? So this is the brush that I used. This is my Vela U large powder brush, and I did, nice good amount on the brush. One layer, that was it. Didn't even go back in, just one layer. And again, for most people, this works. Okay, again, you're gonna always have exceptions to the rule, all right? And there really are no rules, I'm just saying. This is what I think looks the most natural. Does it have to be the Jane Iredale Amazing Base? No, okay? You can really use anything. The reason I love this is I think once you master mineral powder, there's nothing like it. It's so natural and it blends so seamlessly, and it really does look like your skin just better. And I am just a huge fan of mineral powder foundation. And this one has that glow. It's like a subtle glow that is just beautiful. It's breathtaking. I absolutely love it. So this is the one that I chose today, but you could use another mineral powder or any foundation really that you love, okay? But the key is subtle. So if you wanted to create this look with a cream or a liquid, you could. It's just you have to make sure that you go in with a very, very light hand, and you need to make sure that everything is cohesive. And one of the things I don't like about liquids and creams is, just from what I've seen, I don't use them, but from what I've seen, is that people oftentimes look like things don't quite match as well. So I feel like there's a little more forgiveness with mineral powders. At least that's what I've seen, as long as you're not overusing it. If you're overusing it, then you're going to be stuck. you're going to have difference there. But if you use just a light layer, it seems to just harmonize really beautifully. It just seems to suit more people's skin tone. I guess that's what I'm saying. I find there not to be as much differentiation between the face and the body. And I know shade matters. Of course it matters. I'm not saying that it doesn't, okay? But I'm just saying I feel like these are more forgiving. At least that's my experience, okay? And I went in with this rose gold bronzer. I talked about this in a video the other day. This is the blend rose gold bronzer. Absolutely love this. There's something about this shade. Now, it has the tiniest bit of subtle shimmer to it, okay? And for somebody who really doesn't want any shimmer at all, then I don't know what to tell you, because I haven't found a rose gold that I love as much as this. This shade is just absolutely beautiful, okay? It's giving you a somewhat tanned rose gold look, which is to me just so beautiful. And it really looks very natural, minus the little bit of shimmer. So you are getting just a little bit of, I don't even want to call it glam. It's not glam, but you're getting a little bit of soft glam here with a little bit of shimmer, but it's very understated. Okay, it's not like bling. It's not, I have no highlight on, I have no contour, nothing. Okay, this is very, very simple, elegant, and natural makeup. Now, I have a deformed nose, okay? And if this were my wedding, would I contour my nose just the tiniest little bit on that side? I probably would. I probably would. And if I forgot to, I don't think I'd lose sleep over it, but I think that I would. So if you want to go in and just do like a little, you know, of an area that you really just can't stand. But again, I've talked about why I don't think walking down the aisle with a chiseled masculine face is a good idea. Okay, I think this is a time for, you know, our face to look feminine, for us to just be embodying our femininity, because this is what marriage is about. It's the merging of the polarities. It's the merging of the masculine and the feminine, and it's a beautiful union as long as the people are well matched. And that's the secret, right? Are they well matched? But this I absolutely love, and I just happen to use the Jane Iredale chisel brush because that's what I had. I just grabbed it. You could use anything that isn't dense. You don't want something too dense, because what you're going for is the most subtle look, okay? So I did the tiniest bit, barely want to see it on my brush. Give it a good little this, all right? Very important. Then you're going to go in and you're going to simply start very lightly dusting it, bridge of the nose and across. And that is going to give you the most natural look. And then whatever's left, you can go over the lid with it, which is what I did. And then again, if there's anything left, you can take a little bit onto the forehead. Okay, and again, I just don't think this is a time to be going in full-handed with contours and stuff like that. Again, if you really have an area that you are just like so uncomfortable with, maybe the tiniest bit, okay? Tiniest bit, all right? Yeah, I can't stress that enough, okay? So for my eyes, I went in with a brown liner. Now again, this is gonna vary from person to person, but I pretty much always think a chocolate liner is the most subtle, and you still get a look. You still get a look, and it's definitely a lot softer. And for somebody who's got lighter skin and lighter hair, I'm gonna go even lighter. I'm gonna go with like a taupey color, like a taupey brown, okay, or something that's not dark, but I'm dark, okay? So I went with a chocolate, and I literally just got my lash line and smudged it in really good. So basically, I want to smudge it in so that it's imperceivable, because that's how you get the natural look. Imperceivable, okay? You don't want anybody to tell that you have liner on. And then I lined the top, and again, I got it right down at the lash line, and then I went down and I blended it. Basically, I'm blending it out. I'm really just taking it off, and I'm just keeping the very bottom on, okay, so that it makes my lashes look a little bit fuller, okay? Then I went in with my eyelash curler. I curled my eyelashes, and I did go in with a tiny bit of mascara, and I think it's wise to do only one coat, okay? One coat keeps it natural. And if you have a good mascara, the one coat should be good. Again, I don't think this is the day to be going in with 2 and 3 coats. I just don't. I think one coat for most people. And again, there's always going to be exceptions, but for most people. And then all I did was flicked a little bit on the bottom, just not even enough to see it. I don't generally ever suggest waterproof eye makeup because taking it off will really wreck your skin after a while, because you have to tug so much and it's hard to get it off. So I never wear waterproof eye makeup. I don't wear eye makeup hardly ever anyway, very often, but if I do, but for your wedding day or something like that, I think going waterproof is the way to go, okay? And I think just one light coat is good, and then really separate out your lashes, clean them out so you don't have any little moles there. So again, the idea is you want it to look so natural. You do not want someone to look at you and go, oh, she has makeup on. You want to be like, what? Like what? Like, does she just look like that? That's what you want, okay? So for my brows, I just went in with this because it's what I have and it's what I love. This is the La Belladonna Down to Earth. Look at that chocolate brown. Because I have dark brows, they're just going away because of my age, but I just do a fingertip, tiny little bit, and I just tapped the tiniest little bit into my brow. Just literally the tiniest bit. Because again, subtle. All right, just slightly enhancing what you already have. So again, the only thing that I would say that is not completely understated would be the rose gold. This is kind of like your little bit of bling if you like this. And it's not a ton, okay? It is not a ton. Now, if you are standing out in the direct sunlight and you know, you're going to get a little bit of the reflection there, but if you're like inside and doing stuff and whatever, no, it's extremely natural looking. And it doesn't look like my face is lit up like a disco ball, okay? So again, don't mind the hair because it's just, you know, just get up in the morning and pull it up hair, okay? So obviously, if I were getting married, which I'm not, I've been married to my husband for years. We haven't been married for 40 years, but we've been together legit almost 40 years. It'll be 40 years in December, which is crazy, you know, obviously. But this is the face, okay? This is the face. This is the subtle, subtle face. And I did go in, for me personally, with this warm rose-toned liner. I think lipstick on a wedding day is a disaster. I just don't like the look of it unless you are going to go and tap it in and be extremely subtle with it. But I don't like a lipstick look. It's just, to me, it's very unflattering. I don't like it. Draw attention to the lips. And I don't understand why people are doing all these nude lips. I just don't get it. It doesn't bring life. It doesn't ooze healthy blood life, right? Makes people look sick. I don't understand it. So this is just a warm rose lip liner, and I lined my lips, and then I took a little Vaseline and I smudged it out. So you really can't even tell that I have anything on my lips. But yet I have this little subtle color. Okay. Now, if I wasn't doing the rose gold look, I probably would wear more of a mauve tone, which is what my natural lip color is. My natural lip color is more mauve. Okay, so I generally prefer those lips. But if I were doing this subtle rose gold look, I would definitely go with a slightly warmer lip, just slightly though. And this just happens to be the Youngblood rose, and it is a warm rose. It's an orangey rose, okay? Again, it leans warm for sure. And I'm not generally a fan of warm lips on me, but with the rose gold look, it actually looks really good and really subtle, okay? And like I said, if I had kind of this pale, pale, pale apricot, warm-toned ivory dress on, then it would just pop. Everything would just pop and everything would flow together. So again, if you're really, really cool toned, then obviously, you know, you could go with something a little more blush, right? Like that kind of that blush tone, that pale, pale blush tone. Again, you know, white's just not real flattering. It's a very cold color, which is why I think a lot of brides choose the ivory, right? The ivory is warmer for sure, right? But you can do whatever you want, right? You can wear whatever color you want. You can do whatever you want. And I find it funny that people talk all about tradition, but they'll wear a white dress, but it's like a mini skirt and it's like cut down to here and they got a full face of glam makeup on. And like, you're not traditional. You're not traditional in any way. So I just find it funny. Do what you want, okay? It's just the reason I think understated makeup on your bridal day is the best thing to do is because it's about the day. It's not about what you look like. And I think that it's become a fashion show, and I think that it's become kind of like a freak show for a lot of people. And I think when it's over the top and you look like you're trying too hard, I can honestly say it makes me wonder what the backbone is, right? Because if you're going into something trying that hard and thinking that you need to look like a Barbie doll on your wedding, I just don't know that you really understand what marriage is truly about and how sacred it is and how big of a decision this is that you are making. Let's face it, half the marriages end in divorce. Most people don't take it seriously. And I think that weddings and what you see on a wedding day is kind of an example of how people don't take it seriously. It's just a big event for people. And I don't really think that they realize how damn sacred it really is, because you can just get out, which is fine. Everybody should be able to get out. If you're miserable, get the fuck out. Like, I totally get it. But I'm just saying, I don't think people take it seriously. And I think when you have this understated look and you let your true beauty shine through, that is what people are going to notice. All right? And remember, when you have a ton of makeup on and you're all done up, I don't care how many people come up to you and tell you how beautiful you look, in their mind, they're thinking you look like a fool. I'm just saying it. I'm going to be honest to you because I'm not a liar. You can actually ask my kids. My mom is always telling me that I've never changed. And she says to me every time she sees me, "You've never changed." She's like, "You are still the person you've always been. You're honest. I just tell it like it is. And I try not to be mean, but I tell it like it is." My kids tell me all the time. They're like, "Mom, like, you know, you may have flaws, but nobody will ever be able to say that you're not honest." And again, I'm not going to just outright blurt something out to someone and be mean because it's true. No, I'm not going to do that. But I try to be honest. And I think it's important that we be honest with each other. And the only people that think that overdone Barbie doll looks good are people that are desperately trying to look different. They're desperately trying to look younger than they are. They're desperately trying to look different than they are. But you're marrying this person who loves you, hopefully. And hopefully they love you without all of that stuff. And I just don't think it's a good message. I really don't. I don't think it's a good message. I think it's better to be real and raw and authentic and go in with a subtle, beautiful, understated makeup look. Okay, so this is one of my favorites. All right, so I'm just looking around. Is there anything else that no? Okay, if you have really oily skin, you are definitely want to go in with a setting powder, and it's really better to use the setting powder first. So after you've done your skin prep, which I have videos on skin prep, go in with a setting powder. It's going to make your face feel a little bit dry initially, but it should go away within like half hour, 20 minutes, half hour. And then you go in. Okay. So, or even if you just want a little extra insurance that it stays on all day, you can go in with it. Okay. I don't use them. Now, if I needed it to stay on 12 hours, maybe I will, but for the most part, I don't. Okay. And also, again, I didn't cover contouring, concealing, and all of that. Again, just only conceal areas that are absolutely like sticking out like a sore thumb, something subtle, leave it alone. And I'm not a big fan of contouring anyway, okay, unless it's something very specific. Like I said, like my nose is deformed from the oxalate damage and the frostbite. So it's definitely, the whole thing is deformed. So again, if you want to go in and just do subtle contouring, but again, very subtle. Nobody needs to have their wedding day a full-on contoured nose or a full-on contoured chiseled cheek. I mean, it's really inappropriate in my mind, right? And again, someone may call me old school, and sometimes my daughter will say, "Well, that's what they do these days." I'm like, people are insane. Have you looked around at the world? People are fucking insane. So why are you following trends? People are insane. And I'm not saying that my generation did everything right, but what I'm saying is people today are insane. The insanity is at an all-time high. Okay, girls are getting married in negligees. Okay? Come on, like seriously. This is the world that we live in. All right? It's supposed to be modest, right? It's a day of modesty. It's a day of femininity, right? You're merging your femininity with a masculine energy, right? And you're blending together. Doesn't matter what sex you are. That's what you're doing. You're blending together, right? And it's about you. It's about you as a human being. Not about the dress. It's not about the hair. It's not about the face, right? It's not about those things. But everybody wants to look pretty, right? Everybody wants to look good. Well, women do. A lot of men don't care, but a lot of women do. A lot of women really, really care about what they look like. And I understand that completely. But I'm telling you, Understated is where the real beauty is at, okay? That's beautiful. Letting your true, authentic beauty shine through, okay? And even though this was not my exact makeup look when I got married all those years ago, my makeup look was very, very subtle. It was very subtle, very understated. My dress was subtle and understated. And I can't tell you how many compliments I got because people really appreciate that. Let me tell you, people see that and they notice it. And again, it's just like, huh? Like again, because you didn't overdo it. Anything that is overdone doesn't look good. No matter how much you think it does, it doesn't. It just looks fake. And I get it. Some people are into that. They love the glam. They love her, whatever. But on your wedding day, you might want to save the glam and go for a subtle look. All right? Signing out.